Oye, mi gente, you're listening to the Red Lips Real Talk podcast,
where we talk about life, love, and everything in between. You already know, it's time to get real.
Dale.
Picture this. You're on a date. The night's going great. Conversation's easy. The chemistry's there. Then the check lands on the table. You both glance and suddenly it's like some test. Are we splitting this? Should one person offer? Is this what people mean when they say 50-50? Welcome to Red Lips Real Talk. Today, we're unpacking the idea of 50-50 relationships, how navigating chores, money, emotional labor, and everything in between isn't always a perfect balance, but more about teamwork. Hello, ladies.
Hi, Maritza.
Hello.
So what does it mean, 50-50 relationships?
Well, I think it means both partners sharing duties and expectations. You just splitting everything 50-50.
Right down the middle.
Right down the middle.
Mm.
You did the dishes. I'll put them away. 50-50.
Or I did the dishes today, you do them tomorrow?
That too. I don't do bathrooms. That's all. That's all you.
What about you, Jasmine?
You know, I've had to do a lot of soul searching for this show because I might get a little deep here, but I have in my mind what I think 50-50 means, right? And I was very more traditional, I think, or more old-fashioned minded. So before we started thinking about doing the show, I decided to talk to younger people, like my daughter, and younger married couples. And I asked them a lot of questions because I wanted to be educated on this before I gave my own personal opinion and thoughts, because this is a very, very different world, a changing world. You know, in the 80s, I was a kid. In the 90s, I was a teenager. In the early 2000s, I was a woman. And now I'm a middle-aged woman in 2025. And how we lived and grew up was drastically different. For example, you made $10, $11 an hour in the early 2000s, and rent was $500, $600 a month.
Right.
Today, you make $15, $16 an hour and rent's $2,500 a month. It's really hard for one person to do that by themselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that made me do a lot of soul searching on why things are more 50-50, because whether we want to admit this to ourselves or not, our young youth has a lot of stress when it comes to money, finances, and their future. Mm-hmm. When I was a young girl, I could move out of my house right after high school and move in with my friend. Our kids can't.
No, it's difficult for this time period. Everything is so expensive, mm-hmm. and they're not making as much to cover that. Or a lot of people aren't. So 2-income households are tough.
Yeah.
I can only imagine anyone dealing with 1-income household.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I know people, I'm not going to say their names because that would be horrible, but I know people that are making $80,000 and another one's making $50,000, and it's still not enough.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing because, again, not to go back 25 years, but people made $40,000. Another person maybe made $30,000. They owned a home. They had new cars. They went out to eat. They went to Disney World. They had nice clothes. Today, that's almost poverty.
Right.
So it made me reconsider my way of thinking about 50-50. It is absolutely necessary for many people, unless they're inheriting homes or inheriting money from family generational wealth. I'm not going to lie either. I still think it's really sexy when a man picks up the check, you know, when you go out to dinner and he picks up the check, or he offers to help you pay things. I think it's really sexy and very, I don't know. It's just like, it's something that I think a lot of women find as a turn on, mm-hmm. but I can also understand how that is so stressful for a young man that maybe wants to do that, but he just kind of can't.
Right. You're talking about more just financial area. You're not talking about the other stuff, emotional labor, the house chores, like all of that.
Exactly. And I was going to get into that. I wanted to kind of focus more on the finance side, because that is a harsh reality for our young people.
Right.
And I think that that's one of the one of them, I think there's 3 reasons why people, when they get in relationships, whether they're living together or married, why they get separated.
Yeah. Money is
I think money. I think money's one. Number 2 is infidelity. Yeah. You know, and then third, I think you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think third is like violence. You know, that's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy that you can be madly in love with someone, but the money situation is so bad that you break up
because you're fighting all the time.
Because you're fighting all the time.
Yeah,
because you're fighting all the time. I know personally, a lot of women who want to be home.
Same. I know a lot.
They want to be home. They're like, I don't want to go to work. I don't want to be a boss bitch. I know somebody who told me, Jasmine, I wish I could have had 3-4 kids. I want to be home. I want to cook. I want to clean. I want to do the laundry. I want to have 4 kids. That was my dream. I wanted that. And I can't. I have to work and I have 1 child.
And that's tough.
And it's tough.
Yeah.
So it made me reconsider my way of thinking. And I'm glad that we're doing this show because I feel it helped me grow also as a person, realizing that what I thought doesn't apply in this generation anymore.
Right. It's forever changing.
It's forever changing.
It is, for sure.
You know, and going back to what you brought up, Maritza, that's why you see a lot of men nowadays who are more hands-on because they're like, look, you've been working all day. I've been working all day. And then you come home and you got to cook dinner, help with the homework, pick up the house while I sit on the couch with a beer and watch a little TV. That shit ain't going to fly no more.
No. It's very different. Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's crazy to listen to your kids have, they tell you what their plans are. Like I know my daughter has a 5-year plan. She has all these goals. She's going to do all these things.
Yeah.
And I'm listening to it very proud, but worried because of this situation, right? Because money, it doesn't get very far anymore, especially here in South Florida.
I think it's the whole United States at this point, Monica.
Well, yeah, but
there's other states that are a little easier.
Yes.
Than
I know
here.
plenty of people that live in other states that can do it.
Right.
Yes.
And they're living comfortably.
Or people that have moved there because they couldn't do it here.
Okay.
They just couldn't.
That's a good argument.
A lot of people leaving South Florida because
Exactly.
they can't do it anymore.
No, it's like I was looking at, because I was curious, you know. So I went on Zillow and I said, okay, let's say I was 30 years old, freshly married with a baby, and I want to buy a house and I want to live in Miami. But there's certain parts you don't want to live in Miami. Right. You don't have to live in Coral Gables, but you still want to live in a nicer neighborhood with good schools and stuff like that. Fixer uppers are like $580,000.
Yeah.
And you're making $25 an hour. Your spouse or girlfriend or boyfriend is making about the same. Guys, that's not. How do you pay a $5,000-$6,000 mortgage?
Right.
And then you got your car, then you got insurance, your cell phones, you got to eat. And that's not even including enjoying your life.
Right.
Going on a nice dinner with your wife or going shopping or taking that trip to Disney World. No wonder these people are not having kids and getting married. It's so fucking hard.
I was just listening to the radio and it's so true. Like 2 weeks ago, you go to the store, Publix, whatever, and you're buying the same things over and over that you normally get. And then 2 weeks later, you're going to the same thing you're buying. You're like, holy shit, this is like $4 more than it was 2 weeks ago. It's insane how it just from 1 week to the next, prices are jumping.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
What is going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, to buy a house, not only do you have to think about all that, insurance here is insane. And people are being dropped like flies.
I've been dropped twice and my insurance annually, and I've never put in a claim ever in my life. Thank God. Up. Never put in a claim. My insurance on my house is $13,000 a year. That's insanity. And let's not include property taxes.
Right.
Okay. Because your house can be paid off, but you still got to pay property taxes. Yeah. So now homeowners insurance and property taxes, your house is paid off. You still got to pay $20,000 to $22,000 a year.
Because they're not valuing what you actually paid for it.
Right.
Yeah.
They want to go by what it's worth.
What the assessment. But yes, and that's the reality that our young youth is dealing with. Back in the days, you could buy a house. It was, maybe, excuse the word I'm going to use, but it could be a piece of shit. But you could buy a little house for $80,000.
Right. Mm-hmm. And fix it up.
Where that's una casita from Home Depot.
That's Amazon.com.
Les ríete. Hay gente comprando esas casitas in Hialeah, and they put a toilet and an air conditioner, and people are living in them.
I saw someone do that. They bought a house on Amazon.
Yeah.
And they put it together, put the electric, the plumbing.
Yeah,
and all that
I've seen that.
We laugh about it, but it's not funny. Mm-mm. It's not funny. It is a crisis.
It is. It's insane. I want to live in a tiny home. Just get me out of here. Put me in a box.
Yeah.
In the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn into one of those prepper people that are living in the woods.
Off the grid.
Off the grid. Come find me.
But I think 50-50 also is complex because, there could be a lot of resentment if one person, let's say, I'm just going to do hypotheticals here, but these things are happening. Okay. So let's say, Monica, you and I are together and you make $200,000 a year and I make $60,000 a year. Obviously, that's a huge.
Yeah.
Okay. But there are couples who still split everything 50-50.
Right.
I'm at a disadvantage because I make considerably less than you. So a good portion of my livelihood is going to go just to survive versus you're going to have a lot left over. So you may have to live in a neighborhood that you don't want to live in because I can't afford. That's complex.
It is. And I guess that's the importance of communication.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. So when you get into a relationship, these are conversations you should be having. They're not comfortable conversations.
No, but if you decide you want to split everything down the middle, that's definitely a conversation that needs to be,
Do you know how many people get married not having these conversations?
It's very common.
I know several.
Yeah.
And I don't understand it. I've always, and I can't speak for anybody else but me, okay? But I've always felt like that is critical in a relationship is how are you with money? Are you a saver? Are you a spender? Do you live paycheck to paycheck? Are you a dreamer or are you very conservative? All of those things matter. Yeah. I like to take vacations. If my husband was to tell me I like to stay in Florida, we're not going anywhere. I don't know, because in the long run, that's going to bother me.
Right.
These are complex conversations, just as do you want a child? No, I don't want. I'm surprised how many people get together without having these conversations. What do you think?
I'm surprised by it, but I know it's common because it's not something people want to talk about. But if you're in a relationship for a couple of years with someone before you get married, I think those are things that you should notice.
Right.
Like how they are with money, whether or not they owe a lot more than you.
If they have debt.
Debt. If you're with them before.
Well, there's people who get married without knowing that they're marrying into, they're inheriting someone else's debt.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It happens a lot more than you think.
No, I know. But again, importance of having this conversation. And some people they just go into these relationships thinking, I'll pay my half, he pays his half, and that's it. But then in the end.
Well, because life is forever changing.
Right.
So you could say that today, and it's not necessarily so 5-10 years down the line, everything changes. You lose your job. Maybe you're putting in more hours. You get a promotion. You stay where you're at. I mean, everything changes. Life changes constantly.
Yeah, constantly.
Well, Maritza, you just brought up a good point. What if, God forbid, one of you gets sick?
Right.
And that's it.
You can't see that in your future.
Yeah. In the scenario of Monica and I are together, she's the one that was making $250. God forbid, just in the scenario, she gets ill. That's $250. I make $60. Yeah. Our life is drastically going to change. I mean, those are things that I guess younger people don't think about. I'll be honest, I didn't think about that either.
I didn't think about that.
I got married because I was in love. But I think you definitely think about that when you're in your second marriage and it's your, But if there's a takeaway from this is that these are very important conversations to have before you get married to someone.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if you're living together. Mm-hmm. Like if you're living together, these are conversations you got to have.
Oh,
you have to know.
You got to make it work.
Yeah.
So you got to talk about it.
Because getting married, if you do decide to get married, that's a commitment and you are inheriting each other's debts.
Right.
Everything is now becoming one. So
yeah.
it's important to have these conversations. I know for some people, they married and all do feel 50-50 is the way to go for them because that's just the conversation they had and that's what works.
It works. And if it works,
That's
it
fine.
works.
Yeah, that's fine too. I read it was on Reddit and there was a couple and one made more than the other and they split all the bills
Right down the middle.
And they have all that taken care of. And then if they want to do something together, I guess they put money in an account.
Oh, they have a fund
They
for
have
like
a fund for
vacations
that. So they both put like money into that account and then the rest is there for whatever.
Yeah.
And they haven't had a problem. But again, they did have situations where life fluctuated.
Right.
One lost their job, so the other one had to just cover everything fine. And then they had that backup. And it happened to both of them. So then the other one got a job, then the other one lost the job. So, but it worked for them and they were happy.
Yeah.
And that's the way it works. Some people don't talk about it. And then there's resentment.
Right. And you can get petty, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to be raw and vulnerable here, but I don't live like that. I don't. I stopped working on 2020. I've mentioned this several times. So I became extremely dependent on just my spouse, but then I do everything else. He's the one that works. He's the one that makes the money. And then I became very domesticated, which in the beginning was kind of like, oh my God, like the loss of my career, the loss of my independence, my financial identity. I lost that in 2020. It took me years to kind of come to terms with that. That's not for everybody. It's not. But I feel honored and privileged that I could do that. Does that make any sense? Yeah. And that I've been able to have both lives, where I have been the girl who's worked since she was 15 years old and hustled and was that whatever version of a boss bitch you want to call. And then I became light. I don't know if lighter is the right word, but I was home and I was cleaning and cooking and folding the laundry and putting on Spotify and dancing while I was mopping the floor. And what am I going to make for dinner tonight? And being so hands-on with my daughters, I also cherish that too.
Right.
So I feel like I'm lucky because I've been able to have both in my life. But I can see the danger if it's not a healthy marriage,
right,
or a healthy relationship where someone is making all the money and they completely control everything. That's a very dangerous situation too. So I think it's something that if you do find yourself wanting to do that, you have to make sure that you're with a partner that's not going to hurt you like that.
Exactly.
Right.
It's critical.
Yeah,
definitely.
But we're also in a time too where Miss Independent, right? Like a lot of women.
Well, we're getting a lot of our young children are not wanting to get married. We've talked about this before, and not wanting to have kids.
Right.
I was at a funeral. Well, it was a service for somebody that had passed away. I just happened to be sitting next to a conversation that I was overhearing, and it was a lawyer. And he was actually talking about how slow it was because there wasn't many divorces going on because not a lot of people are getting married. That's the world that we're in right now.
So the divorce lawyer is slowing down.
Yeah. Well, he's doing other stuff, right? Not really concentrating so much on, the divorce rate has dropped.
It's funny that you said that because I was about to quote this. Look, according to Pew Research, which is a big research firm, fewer Americans are married now compared to decades in the past. More people are choosing to remain single or cohabit together without marriage. That is the new normal, with no children, and they share a dog.
Yeah, there's always a dog. There's always a dog.
Have you not seen the People's Court when they fight for the dog? Yeah. It's crazy. But that's what's happening, and it's a new world.
So yeah, it's very, and they're both very independent.
But I still want him to pay for my dinner. I have to draw a line somewhere. Pay for my freaking dinner, bro. Let me at least pay for my dinner.
Yeah.
Come on.
What do they call that? Chivalry.
Yeah. Like I got my hair done. I did my nails. I probably bought a new outfit. I'm looking pretty for you. Like pay for my steak.
Pay for my steak.
I have a statistic here from Bumble.
Okay.
Well, it says, according to Bumble, it says 47% of Gen Z daters still believe men should take the lead in relationships. So even though equality is the goal, tradition idea is still alive.
Look, I can lie to you both and tell you that
Take the lead.
but
I think that's more like, pay for my dinner.
Well, that's what you're talking about. I mean, that's what she's talking
Pay
about.
for my dinner.
I don't know. I know I'm old. Shit, I'm almost 50 years old. I'm holding on, bitches. I'm holding on to
That
49.
statistic goes with what she's saying. That's what I'm saying.
On to 49 with everything. But yeah, there's something really sexy about a man who takes the lead.
I agree. I'm with you on that one.
And I know it's old fashioned, but it's really, really hot.
It is. It is. But some women like to take the lead.
Yeah. Well, a lot of guys feel intimidated in dating or marrying women that make significantly more, because whether we want to admit this to ourselves or not, I think there is women that make more money than men. There is a shift in the relationship, and it can make a man feel a certain way. I'm sure that there's a lot of men that feel very good in their manhood and they feel secure about themselves, and it doesn't bother them whatsoever. But I do feel that most men, because they were raised this way, they were raised in thinking that you have to provide, you have to protect, you have to be a man. And when the woman is the one that's more powerful, let's be honest, if she's making significantly more, there's something about her that changes too, whether she wants to admit it or not. She's more masculine. She does become a little bit more masculine and less soft and less feminine. I'm not saying that they're not beautiful feminine women, but they are a little bit harder. And some men are not attracted to that. And I'm not making that up. I did a lot of my due diligence on this. And and it is some of the things that's why a lot of the women who are in this situation are single too, because it's hard for them to find a man that is okay with that dynamic.
Okay.
I can understand that.
Yeah. But I think I've seen scenarios, both. There are relationships that, the woman does make more. And that's happened like late, or sometimes it happens like later on in the marriage. It's not necessarily something that the man walks into.
I think where you see it, Maritza, it's like if I made 80 and you made 90, I don't really think that, but once you start getting into I make, $250,000 a year and I make 80, and it's, I'm the guy and I'm the one that makes 80 and my wife makes 250. I think that's really hard on a lot of men.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it could. I don't know. I don't have experience, but I could see it happen. Yeah, I could see it being.
That has a lot to do with their pride.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
They took a punch in their pride.
Exactly.
Because they don't make. So if I'm not a doctor.
Well, I'm going to ask you both a question. Do you think women in this situation lose respect for their husbands because of it?
Because they make more money?
Yes.
No.
You don't think so?
No. It depends on the situation. I mean, if you are with someone that's not trying, right, and that's the reason why you make more than them, that's different. I could see someone losing respect for that person.
Okay.
But if it's because they have a different career path than you do, no, I don't think.
Yeah, teachers don't make a lot of money. You could be a great science teacher, and you're the CEO of a company.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you know that you're married to someone who's a teacher and you're a doctor.
But you better make it up in the bedroom. You better make it up in the bedroom. You got another job. You got another job.
But no, I don't see. I think that's more pride. Men that get bothered by that is because it's their pride. They have some sort of low self-esteem. And
do you think that's considered toxic masculinity from the past? Or that's just the way it is? What do you think?
I guess it all depends on
how they handle it. It's really how they handle it. But I mean, it's an upbringing. You know what I mean? It's just how they were raised to be. And so sometimes it can be that way. Not always, but there could be men that feel that way. And it's all in the upbringing.
And I guess too, because I never grew up with the intention of being taken care of by anybody.
You're
That's
right.
not how I grew up.
Right. Me neither.
My mother was very independent, and there was nothing wrong with the relationship. She grew up the way that you're saying, old-fashioned, that her dad took care of everything. But when she left, she was on her own.
Right.
And she's like, I'm going to do this. And she did that all her life.
Yeah.
She was very independent.
Right.
Yeah.
And my dad did provide for the family. He was a hardworking man and he provided for the family, but she still wanted to do her own thing and make her own money.
Yeah.
Right.
So it wasn't, that's how I grew up. So I never grew up with the intent like, oh, I'm going to be taken care of.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
no,
Neither did I. I was on survival mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I remember having you just triggered a memory. I had a huge argument with Mike. Juliana, my first daughter, she was only 3 at the time. I was working full time. It was really hard. It was hard. You know, a toddler. Well, I don't have to explain myself. Everybody who's listening who knows how difficult that time of your life can be. And he was like, honey, just stay home. And I was like, no. Like, we had the biggest fight about this. And I remember he got so upset with me and this is a true story, I'm not making it up. He was like, you make me feel really bad because you make me feel like I can't take care of you. And I was like, it's not that you can't take care of me. It's just like, I have to work. I have to make my own money. I cannot be dependent on anybody. And he looked at me and he was like, it makes me sad that you don't trust me, that you don't trust me as your husband, that I won't do that to you. And I was like, and I remember saying, I do trust you, but I can't, but I won't do that. I don't mean to sound like Meatloaf, but I won't do that. And I keep bringing it up. It wasn't because I was forced, which was COVID, because my job was super social. And that's when my life changed. But I think it's very, very difficult for women to surrender to that vulnerability, because when one person makes all the money and they control that could be really petrifying.
Yeah. But you said you were forced into it. So you had both lives. Right.
Yeah. 2020, I stopped working.
Right.
Yeah.
And you enjoyed it.
I did. I'm not going to lie. And then came the time that I'm like, damn, I wish I would have done it a little sooner so I could have enjoyed my daughters a little bit more and gone to the PTA meetings and been that mom, because it worked out for me.
Right.
So let's be honest, maybe for other women, that's not working out for them, but because it did work out for me, I wish I would have done it a little sooner. But not everybody wants that either.
Exactly. That's my point.
Yeah.
Not everybody wants to be a stay-at-home mom.
Right. Yes.
And I was put in that position at one point where I was at home. I wasn't working, and I was told to stay that way, but it drove me insane.
Yeah.
I couldn't be home.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
It's not for everybody.
I needed to work.
Yeah.
I was like, nope. I'm going to go find a job. Sorry. I was there for every school event, every PTA meeting, every pickup, every drop off. I was there.
This was something that you were discussing with your husband?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it wasn't me. I did not want to stay home. I'm not a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's okay.
Yep.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Like, no.
I thought I was that way too. I'm being honest. But then I was like, oh, wow. Like, I really like this. Mm-hmm. And then there was times that, I had already been in it for like about a year, and it's going to sound terrible what I'm going to say, but you got to be honest, and Mike was like, man, it's really nice to come home and like the house is clean, the laundry's done, the food is done. You're happy, you're in a good mood. The weekends, we're just having fun. We're not trying to play catch up. He goes, man, this is really nice. But he also knew that I was busting my ass at home. So it's not like he was like, oh, she's watching TV all day and folding shorts. Right. No, it wasn't like that. So, I did have a good-hearted spouse that valued me at home
and appreciated
me. Exactly. So that's critical. Yeah, that's critical. And every relationship is different. So that's why, I'm glad we're doing this show, because I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot on how things have changed.
Yeah.
Talking to the younger girls too, they're like, it's different out here. It's just really different.
I mean, I transitioned into staying home slowly because I was working. But then, when, those memes, you wish your office would catch on fire. Well, that was a true story for me. I woke up one morning and, hey, our office burned down. And I was like, what? And then I started working from home full time, plus taking care of my mom, who had been diagnosed with breast cancer the second time, and taking care of my kids. They were toddlers. And then slowly but surely, I mean, the industry that I'm in kind of started to slow down throughout the years, just got worse and worse.
Yeah.
And I eventually transitioned into the being stay-at-home mom, but I was already home because I was working from home full time. So that's how it happened for me. And so it wasn't...
But can I ask you a question?
It became easier because I wasn't when I was working full time, it was hard for me to do all the other things, right? Cook. And even though I was there, just all of that was tough to just manage all together. But once I transitioned to, being full-time at home. Like I wasn't working as much. It was more like part-time, freelance.
Yeah.
It wasn't so bad because I was already working from home for so many years.
Well, the question I wanted to ask you was, like, Monica admitted that she just didn't like it.
Right.
And I'm saying I thought I wouldn't like it, but I ended up liking it. What was it for you?
It was really hard. I went through my moments of like feeling like the walls were closing in on me, and just the transition is not well, like I said, I was working from home first, and that's not for everybody neither.
Yeah.
That's also a really hard transition.
It is very hard.
If, I think some people are like, hey, yay,
They love it.
But it is not easy. And I think sometimes what happens with your spouse is that they think because you're home all day, even though you're working all day, there's some things that, I don't know, like expected, and they don't realize, I'm home, but I'm working. Like this, I'm sure people can relate to that because I've talked to a few people about it, and
Absolutely.
they're like, oh my goodness. Like, they're upset because I didn't get to this, but I was working. And so that tends to happen as well. I mean, the transition was not easy at all. I fought it, but then I adjusted.
Yeah.
And, then I got to a point where I was like, I was grateful because I was able to be around my kids for the amount of time that I was able to be around.
In their formative years.
The transition was not easy. Yeah, it definitely wasn't. I mean, but then again, like I said, I had a lot of things going on in between that time as well.
Well, that's what that lady talks about. What's her name again? Brene Brown. She talks about that a little bit, kind of tapping into that, because she said, I think she was asked about the 50-50 rule. Yeah.
She thinks it's a crap of bullshit.
Well, she
says, because it's not always 50-50. Sometimes it's 80-20. Sometimes, the numbers are always changing. She talks about her and her husband. Do you have the clip?
Would you like for me to play it?
Do you want to play it?
She was referring to more like emotional and
yeah, it wasn't financial. Right. It was everything together, I think.
Yeah.
Everyone says marriage should be 50-50. It's the biggest crock of bullshit I've ever heard. It's never 50-50.
Yeah.
Ever. And so what we do is we quantify where we are. So if Steve comes home and he'll be like, I got 20.
Just in terms of energy.
Just energy, investment, kindness, patience. I'm at a 20. And I'll be like, I'll cover you. I got you, brother. Like, I'll pull the 80. Sometimes we come home, which we've done a lot. My mom has been sick, and I'll say, I've got 10. And Steve, like 2 days ago, said, I'm riding a solid 25. So we know that we have to sit down at the table anytime we have less than 100 combined and figure out a plan of kindness toward each other.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, because the thing is, marriage is not something that's 50-50. A partnership works when you can carry their 20 or they can carry your 20. And that when you both just have 20, you have a plan where you don't hurt each other.
Right. And she's talking about everything, like not just financial. She's talking about all of it.
Yeah.
The whole emotional labor. I mean, like the invisible chores, like all of it.
That's why that conversation, like what you just shared right now, which was really vulnerable. And you said, there's an expectation when the spouse comes home, whether it's the woman or the man, that certain things should be done because you were home.
Right.
And them not maybe understanding what transpired in that house the whole day while they were in a traditional office or cubicle or driving a car. That's why what she said is so important, because you need to sit down at the table and say, hey, what is it that you think I'm doing all day at home? Because I think we need to talk about, like, would you like for me to share with you from 8 o'clock in the morning until you walked in what really happened today?
Exactly.
But that's communication.
Yes, I completely agree.
Yeah, that's important. But for some men, they still don't seem to get it.
No, they don't, unfortunately.
They don't.
Yeah, because like I said, I was working from home and I had my toddlers at home. And for some time, my mom was ill. I'm not going to say the whole time, but it was some part of it. So, yeah, it was challenging. Yeah, I got through it.
I'm sure you've seen the videos that go around on TikTok for people that work from home, and they're
juggling so many things. But and then you're trying to have meetings on the phone, and you have background noise going on there.
But they're making fun of the situation because they're like, me trying to work from home.
Yeah,
and then they get knocked. Their husband or their dad or mom, hey, What are you doing? Can you, where's the ketchup? Like all these
But now we have these Zoom, right? The FaceTime Zoom things, because I wasn't doing that back then. Right. I used to tell my boss, I'm like, listen, if you need me to talk to a client, like you got to give me, like warning ahead of time, because I have to create that environment. Lock the kids in the closet. No, I'm just kidding. No, but you know what I mean? Like just create that quiet environment for me to be able to have a conversation about, work.
Yeah. I think it's also really important, again, bringing up communication, but it can get a little toxic when you, instead of being in a team mindset, like we're a team. You and me are a team. It's more like keeping score. Well, I did this and I did that and you didn't do this. And then that's where I think it gets a little bit complicated.
Right. I was going to say that. Yeah.
Because if you're keeping score, and I'm not trying to be hurtful with what I'm saying, I'm really not. But if that's what's happening in your relationship right now, you have a problem. It's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be more like we're a team.
Right. The goal isn't to keep score.
Exactly.
It's about showing up for each other.
Or critical judgments towards each other because of whatever reason. Like those are the things that really hurt and end up chipping away at love and companionship and laughing. I still laugh with my husband. And I think that's a beautiful thing.
With him or at him? No, I'm just kidding.
I do both.
But we still laugh. And I'm like, man, like today, this morning, this is so silly, but I bought a brand new duvet. It was like, it's so over the top. Okay. I bought the duvet cover and the duvet. And Mike's like, wow, that's beautiful. It's like fucking gorgeous. Okay. And I'm like, yeah, this shit is gorgeous. It looks like a hotel bed and whatever. That shit is so heavy. It's like an elephant on top of us. And it's so hot, and he doesn't want to tell me that I fucked up, but I fucked up. Okay. So this morning, we woke up and he was like sweating and I was like, he was like, and we were just like laughing, versus maybe another couple would have been like, why do you buy that? You're so fucking stupid.
Why did you spend that?
Why you spend on this when you're so fucking stupid? Instead of being like, that shit's funny. And then he said something that killed me. He goes, babe, it's going to be really cold. Like 2 days out of the year, that shit's gonna be bomb when we use it. That's the difference.
Right.
That we laughed, that he said a silly joke, and that we could still do that many. And that's the beauty in what I was trying to say about we're a team. Like I messed up.
That's how it should be.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I know every relationship is different, but I think those comical moments, that's really the sweet spot, I think.
Why did you buy that?
Man, because that shit is beautiful.
I'm just hot thinking about it. I'm already sweating.
Because I wanted the bed to have like that hotel. I
don't think people actually use those.
Man, I don't know.
It's just there.
It's for show. And
for show.
You roll it up and you just tuck it away.
Man.
So you did good. Just use a different cover.
Oh my God. We ended up being like, now I'm really giving a TMI, so I'm sorry. We ended up just in our underwear, like this, like angel style. Like, oh, so fucking hot. And he was like, babe, why the hell did you buy that?
Because it's pretty.
But it's really pretty.
It just does it. No, we don't have to use it. Don't use it. Just it's for show.
Yeah. But again, I know every relationship is different and their reasons on why they're together is different. But for me, I just think that if you could still laugh after so many years together, you're kind of winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a call the other day. My daughter talking about chores. And she's like, and she hates doing dishes. She's like, I hate doing dishes. Mm-hmm. And we talked about that. I was like, you had the conversation? She goes, yes, we had a conversation. I know what he doesn't like and he knows what I don't like. So, but today I have to do dishes.
Yeah.
Because he's working late.
Mm-hmm. And that she's putting in her.
Yes, she's like, I'm going to do the dishes. Just use gloves. You're not touching them.
Exactly.
And it's so gross. It's so gross. I'm like, but that's good. You guys had the conversation.
Yes.
This is what I keep telling you. Talk about everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's very important.
It is.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that she's doing that because a lot of young kids don't
No,
They don't do that.
They don't.
Well, it's funny. I'm putting my daughter's like conversations on about. Sorry, sweetheart, if you listen to this, but she called me the other day and she's like, "Mom, my boyfriend called me and he's going to get off of work really late and he has to go do something early in the morning and he needs a brown belt and brown like dressy shoes. So he asked me if I can do him the favor of getting it for him." She goes, "But I don't know what to do." And I was like, "Okay, I'll help you." So she goes to Dillard's and Macy's and it was like there was a budget and it was like exceeding the budget. So I was like, "Okay, well, if that's the budget, then let's go to Marshall's, let's go to TJ Maxx." And they couldn't find anything there. And then long story short, she ends up at Men's Warehouse, right? She finds the belt, she finds the shoes, but it's over the budget by like a lot, you know? So I was like, okay, just cry to the girl and tell her that, just be like, "Oh my God." Blah, blah, blah. She's like, "Mom." And I was like, "Just do it." And she gave her like $40 off. And she was like, "Oh my God, Mom." So this is the point in sharing this story. She goes, "Oh my God, Mom, is this like what wives do for their husbands? Like, is this my future?" It was so innocent.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I mean, if he needs your help,
And you want to help, yeah.
And you love him, and I mean, yeah. I mean, people do these things when they love each other. She goes, "Oh, okay."
Oh my goodness.
And she's like, "Okay." And then she texts me and she was like, "Oh, he loved everything. He said it was really nice." And da-da-da. It was just really sweet. But going back to what you said about your daughter not wanting to do the dishes, it's like, this is them growing up.
Yeah.
And realizing that, oh, this I'm lifing. Like I'm really growing up. And he bought her flowers the next day as a thank you. And I was like, I didn't get fucking flowers when I fucking did that shit. I was like, these guys are different.
When I go shopping for him, I don't get flowers.
Wait a
I
second.
never got flowers when I did shit from Mike.
I always go shopping for my husband. He never gets me flowers for that. I'm going to have to tell him something.
Oh, he buys me flowers.
No, but
For shopping.
for getting him things like that scenario. Did he?
No, I don't think so. Not for I don't really shop for him.
Oh, I shop for Glenn. Yeah.
I shop for Mike.
Glenn,
Like if I see a T-shirt, I'm like, "Oh, this
But
looks
hold up. It's not that I shop for Mike. It's that if I don't tell him what to wear, he will show up looking a hot mess.
Same.
He has no fashion sense.
Yeah.
He will wear Crocs and cargo shorts
here.
and a golf shirt and a hat. And
I can't shop for my husband because I'll be shopping out of like a GQ catalog,
really?
and he don't wear that shit. I'll be like,
well.
I think this is nice, but he don't wear that.
no, I can't handle what he would wear if I don't shop
I do
for him.
because I want to. No, I do it for me.
No, exactly.
I
That's
do-
what I'm saying. Like, I can't
this is
handle.
what you're wearing.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, "This is what I'm wearing." I'm like, "That's what you're wearing."
I remember I bought
I do
a
the same.
shirt from
I do the same.
Express.
Sorry, but it's what I do.
It was Express Men's.
They have nice stuff.
Years ago, I bought, and I'm like, "Oh, look, I saw this shirt." So
Yeah.
and he's like, "That shit is tight. Like, it's gonna fit me very tight." I was like, "Well, I think that's the look." He's like, "That's not what I wear."
I buy
that
things.
too. Mike's like, "Babe, this shit's tight. You can see my nipples."
I buy things that he will wear. Like
Yeah.
I am fair. I don't buy things that he won't wear, but it's definitely better if, I mean, I'm going to take that back because many years have passed. I used to lay his clothes out for him. So this is, like you say, this is what you're wearing. I no longer do that. So, and he's doing well on his own. With my approval. With my
That was
approval.
funny.
Because when he walks out of that room, I do scan him. I scan, approve.
I'm sorry. I guess I'm showing my age, but it's like, I can't trust him. I can't.
Yeah.
And if I'm going out to dinner with my girlfriend,
He's the chancla and shorts guy.
oh my God, yes.
So, yeah, my husband too.
I remember one time I bought him this outfit and I was like, oh my God, he's going to look so great in this. I took it home. That shit was so fucking tight. So Mike was like, "No, babe, you have to take that back." And I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Babe, I can't wear these pants. They're too tight." He was like, "Everybody's going to be like, tú sabes." And I was like, "Tú sabes what?" Excuse me. He was like, "Babe, they can handle this."
Everybody will be hitting on him.
Everybody. No, I'm just kidding. But no. I had to, it was a lot of like trial and error. Like I was trying new things and he was like, I don't like that. But he could definitely do it. He doesn't need me. He could do it himself. But I think our relationship ended up like that where I just shopped for him and I didn't mind. Maybe some people do mind. But for me, it didn't bother me. Plus, I kind of wanted him to match whatever I was wearing.
Right.
It's cute. It's sweet though. I'm just glad that our kids at least are talking, because I was a little worried there.
Yeah.
About the whole relationship thing. Because, young kids we could tell them all day long about do this or don't do this.
Right. But they're not going to listen. They're going to do things their own way.
Although now that they're older, right, they're listening.
They're listening.
They're having different conversations.
I'm also very impressed on how they are handling it because, I see my son, for instance, he's starting to cook now, and him and his girlfriend, they do their thing in the kitchen and it works. They're a team.
Yeah.
She does this, he does that. And then they both help each other clean up. I'm like, okay.
Maritza, I'm glad that you brought that up because, I'm a foodie. I like to cook. People don't believe me, but I genuinely enjoy cooking. And Mike lately has been helping me. Not all the time, but more than usual. And it has really bonded us. He'd be like, honey, let's do this or let's do that. No, I want to do this, And there's something about cooking together as a couple that's really healthy and beautiful. So I think even if you do it once a week, or maybe on the weekends, instead of going out to a restaurant, you go out to the supermarket.
Yeah.
And let's find a recipe. You rent a movie, whatever. And there's something very beautiful and unifying about cooking together.
Yeah, that happens at my house every Sunday.
Nice.
Because my husband cooks every Sunday.
Okay.
And we're all there to help.
Nice.
It's a team effort.
And I realize that the simple things always end up being the big things.
I do the sides. He does the main. And my son is go do this. Go get this. Get this. We need this. Oh, wait, go to the supermarket. We don't have this.
Yeah.
Poor thing. But he's there. He knows the drill.
Food has always been a unifying thing in families.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I do not like cooking. I cook.
Yeah.
But I don't enjoy it. I do it because, I need to feed my family. We got to eat. I got to eat. We all got to eat. And I'm not going to be buying food every day. So I do it, but I'm all about
your thing.
I'm all about fast meals, quick things, I won't spend hours in the kitchen.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's me.
But that's okay because you're holding
and I think people are very surprised to learn that about me because they always come to my house and I have food. And I'm like, oh, I made this or I made that, But I'm like, I cook because I need to feed my family. They'll starve.
You have no choice.
I don't have,
well, now you do.
I do now, but I still like to keep food there. You know what I mean? I still do it. Even though my kids are cooking for themselves
but you cook,
now.
Even though you don't like it, Maritza, you're cooking with your heart. And, and
I do what I can.
You do. You're cooking with your heart.
I do my best.
It's a beautiful thing, especially when you don't like it and you still do it.
Right.
So, ladies, I read this on Reddit and I found it extremely interesting. Is it okay if I read it to you so we can talk about it?
Let's talk about it.
All right. A man and his girlfriend agreed to split the household chores 50-50 after she moved in. And even though he paid a larger share of the rent, over time, the girlfriend was complaining to him that he was just sitting around on his computer and playing video games, rather than helping her in the house and helping with chores. So what did he do? He hired a housekeeper to do his half of the chores. That move triggered rage, outrage, you name it. Many readers on Reddit pointed out that while he technically did fulfill his side, the spirit of the agreement and the mutual caring was broken. Let's talk about that. What is your thoughts on that?
Oh, I don't know. That's hard.
Well, I agree with what they're saying, that the fact that he didn't do it. I can see why she's upset.
Yeah.
But that was a smart move.
That was like checkmate, bitch. That was a checkmate.
Wow.
Yeah. I had to think about that.
That's smart. So I understand her. I understand her rage, her anger.
Yeah, because he found the fucking loophole to the solution.
He did, but that was
And at the end of the day,
that was smart though.
Yes, it was a checkmate from him, like checkmate. But that was also where communication fell short, because it wasn't just about keeping the house clean or doing your chores. It was that I want you to help me, and we're in this together. And then you found somebody else to come and do it. It's
I completely agree with.
But I hope it was that lack of communication,
right? And what I hope is out of this. Is that they can laugh about that later, because that shit is funny.
That shit was funny though. And honestly, if she did a really good job, I'd be like, fuck it.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know what? I'm gonna hire you with my hat.
I'm going to hire you to do my have to, bitch.
We'll just find something else for him to do.
Right.
You're not off the fucking hook. At least that's where I would be.
Well, so here's the takeaway, the overall takeaways, because there was people who left responses. So I'm going to let you know that the takeaway for the listeners were that even though he did honor literally the 50%, the perception from the people reading the Reddit was that it was unfair, that it was snarky, that it was there was an intent to maybe even humiliate her, and that their togetherness as a partnership was broken because he was outsourcing her feelings, and that he found a solution to it by being sarcastic about it.
Right.
And that was even more hurtful.
I see that. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get
that. Was the overall consensus, but checkmate, bitch.
I hope they were able to have a conversation about it.
Yes.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, like we keep saying, communication is key, right?
It is.
You need to
No, it is.
talk about these things.
really
You need to laugh about these things too.
Yeah.
But, you know,
I ain't returning that duvet. That duvet's dying with me. I'm gonna send you a picture so you could put it on our Instagram.
all right. For sure.
Yeah, no, but overall, this was a really great show, ladies. I'm glad we did it. I got to, believe it or not, I learned a little bit more about myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you both, obviously. But I think I grew a little bit more as a person too, because the way I was thinking before we started the show was very different.
Yeah, and I could see that, but it's a different time. And so, like Maritza said before, times are changing continuously. Situations are changing. Life is changing all the time. So
Right.
it's not a one size fits all
It isn't.
thought.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think
You
overall,
took the words out of my mouth.
the most important thing is that there is genuine love, respect, mutual respect, communication, and that you guys both know what you really want and you aim for it together. Because if those critical things are not the same, it's not going to work out.
Absolutely. That's
just my opinion.
key, 100%.
Yeah. So Maritza, you had a little thing you wanted to say?
All right. So I guess the truth is relationships aren't always 50-50. Some days you'll carry more. Some days your partner will. And some days you're both not at 100%. And either way, it's okay. What really matters is how we handle those moments when things start to feel unbalanced. And that means conversations like, hey, I really could use some help right now. Because the balance doesn't come from splitting everything perfectly. It comes from both people being willing to listen, adjust, and communicate. So if this episode got you thinking, share it with someone who believes in partnership over perfection. Remember, love isn't always keeping things even. It's about keeping things open.
Hasta la próxima.
Thank you for listening. Make sure to subscribe to our show so you don't miss an episode.
We will be dropping an episode every 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. No, like seriously. Subscribe now.
So just chill to the next episode. Follow us on Insta and TikTok.
Hasta la próxima.